Hi, Tigers. My name is Todd McCubbin. I'm Executive Director of the Mizzou Alumni Association, and I'm going to share a book with you today. It's one of my favorites. It's called How Truman Found His Roar. Young Truman the Tiger was worried. A tiger prides himself on his roar, and Truman hadn't found his yet. His parents both had very healthy roars, and all his friends had meows, which were sure to turn into roars very soon. One day, Truman decided to roam tiger country searching for his roar. He looked north, south, east, and west. He looked high and he looked low. All that looking made him hungry, so his search took him to Booch's and Shakespeare's and Harpo's. Truman was full, but he still hadn't found his roar, so he returned home very sad. "What's wrong?" his mom asked. "It's not fair, Mom," Truman said. "You and Dad have amazing roars, and some of my friends are starting to get theirs, but I can't find mine anywhere." Truman's mom smiled and said, "You have to be patient, Truman. It just takes cubs longer to find theirs." "Yes," Dad said, "it took me a lot longer than your mom. I had to go to the zoo to find my roar." This gave Truman fresh hope, and he set out the next day on a new journey. Truman knew there was a zoo east and a zoo to the west. He decided to take the scenic route and travel all over tiger country. Along the way, Truman met many wonderful people who all seemed to be tiger fans, but still no sign of his roar. He made his way to the zoo under the St. Louis Arch, and when he got there, Truman asked an old tiger where he could find his roar. "Beats me, kid. Most of us lose our roar in here." "But don't worry, son," the old tiger said. "Your roar will come. Try the other zoo. Just remember not to wander past it because it's near the border of tiger country." Truman thanked him and made his way west. Sure enough, Truman got lost and wandered into a very strange land. Everything was dark gray, and there was blue and red birds saying things that Truman had never heard of, like rock, chalk. Young Truman got scared, and he ran until his legs became tired. He sat down and started to cry. "What's the matter, young fella?" Truman whirled around and saw a wise man looking back at him. Truman told him, "I have looked all over tiger country and can't find my roar anywhere." The man said, "Well, that is a hard thing for a young tiger to handle, but you can't give up. Tiger country needs you." "My dad found his roar at the zoo, and I was sure I would find it there too, but I traveled all the way to the zoo under the arch and nothing." The man thought this over and finally said, "You know, there is more than one kind of zoo. Here in tiger country, there is a zoo where many tigers get together and roar. That zoo is a place called Furrow Field." "That place sounds wonderful." Truman was getting excited again. "But why have I never seen it?" "Well, you have to go there on Saturday when the leaves are changing color. They're actually getting ready for a new season right now. Just follow the roars, and I guarantee you'll find yours." "Thank you, sir," Truman said. "I don't know how to repay you." The man smiled. "Call me Norm, and you can repay me by using your roar to inspire all those tigers around you." "I will, sir. Norm. Thanks again." Truman started in the direction Norm had pointed and kept his ear to the ground. He soon started to hear something, and he came upon Furrow Field, and the ground was shaking because there were so many roars. He went inside. His heart melted. The stadium was full of tigers just like him, roaring with excitement. Truman could feel the energy filling up inside him. He threw back his head and let out a roar so loud everyone turned around to look at him. Truman was so happy to find his roar. He didn't care that people were staring. He started dancing and clapping, even twirling his tail. The crowd erupted in cheers and danced and clapped along. Truman was so happy, he didn't want that feeling to stop. Lucky for him, the feeling didn't stop. The University of Missouri was so impressed with his roar and enthusiasm, they picked him to be their official mascot. You can see Truman the Tiger at various sporting events around Mizzou to this day. He is no longer scared of birds or razorbacks or wildcats or anything else that comes to his zoo. People still talk about the day long ago when the leaves changed color, Mizzou won, and Truman the Tiger found his roar. Go Tigers. So that story is by Aaron Fox. Aaron is one of our graduates that lives here in Central Missouri, and he did a great job with how Truman found his roar.